Hi, everybody. Welcome to the live today. I'm so glad to see all of you. Please put your comments below the video. Let me know where you're watching from. I am going live using StreamYard. So if you click the note that comes up there and you leave me a comment, I'll actually be able to see your name in the comments. Okay. I'm so glad to be with you guys today. So today I want to talk to you guys being a foster parent as a believer in Christ in these days that we are living in. As you guys know, the states have become increasingly hostile to Christians. It's not just the state, it's everywhere, really. Christians are being persecuted on a level that we haven't been in America for a long time. We've enjoyed our freedoms for a long time, but that's changing very, very quickly. And it's affecting every area of life, including foster care. So if you're just joining the live, please go ahead and share with everyone that you know. I'm talking on this live today about what it's looking like in the United States right now to be a foster parent as a believer in Christ. And I want you guys to be aware of what's going on around the United States so that you know what's going on, you know what your rights are, and you know that you can fight. There are a lot of states right now that are refusing for believers in Christ to be foster parents. And so if you don't know that this is going on, and if you don't know what your rights are, you might just let your state deny your license and not know that you can actually fight back. So I'm going to cover a couple of the stories that have actually gone up to the Supreme Court. Some of them have just gone to the Court of Appeals, specifically regarding people of faith who wanted to foster. They went through the whole training and they became licensed, and then the state refused to place children in their care. So if you're watching me right now, please again put your comments below. Let me know where you're watching from. Thank you for being on here. And please share this with as many people as possible who you know need to hear this. All right. Okay. So let's dive in. There actually the good news is that there are some states that have legislation right now that are allowing faith-based foster care and adoption programs to serve faith-based families. Okay, so I'm going to list those states to you right now. Tennessee, South Dakota, Texas, Alabama, Virginia, Michigan, Oklahoma, and Mississippi. They've actually passed laws to protect faith based families who want to adopt and foster, which is amazing. Now, obviously, there's 50 states, so that's not a lot. We need a lot more states to pass legislation to protect faith based families who are wanting to foster and adopt, and also faith based organizations that are doing foster care and adoption as well. Okay. So again, if you're just joining me, guys, I'm talking today about what being a foster parent in the US is becoming like nowadays. And I want to talk to you about it, guys, about a couple of stories that have made the news about believers in Christ who wanted to foster and the state refused to allow them because of their Christian beliefs. All right. So let's dive in. The first one I want to talk about is a lady called Jessica Bates, and she lives in Oregon. So Jessica was a widow, and she had 5 kids already. She had 5 biological kids, and then her husband died. And after grieving and going through all of that, she decided, you know what, I can give more love to kids. I want to become a foster mom, and so she went through the whole process to become a foster mom. And Oregon told her basically that she had to either give up her faith in God or agree to affirm LGBTQ plus ideology. Okay. And she said no. And so they refused to give her foster care license. And then she sued Oregon for it. Okay. And so that's one incident that we have right now. I want to follow the story. What I'll probably do, I might do a follow-up video and tell you guys what happened for that case. But she sued Oregon. And so we're waiting to kind of find out what the final decision is going to be from the court. But that is happening in Oregon right now. So if you live in Oregon and you're wanting to be a foster parent, you want to beware that Oregon is hostile against people of faith, so that if you do choose to become a foster parent, you know how to fight. Okay. You can always sue the state, and you can sue them for discrimination, like Jessica did. In Massachusetts, we have another story in Massachusetts. So Mike and Kitty Berkey are an example of a family who wanted to be foster parents. So they're actually Catholic. And so during the process to get their foster care license, they were interrogated about their views on sexuality and what their response would be if a child struggled with, the gender confusion stuff and struggling with like, am I gay or lesbian? And so they said, like, we're going to love any kid the same, but if they're in our home, we're going to take them to church. We're going to teach them our religious views and values. And we would not support sex changes for that child. And so Massachusetts also, the Department of Children and Family Services in Massachusetts decided not to give them the foster care license specifically because, quote unquote, their faith is not supportive and neither are they. Now, the crazy thing with Massachusetts and also across the United States in general is that, they're always complaining that there's too many foster children, that we need more foster homes, right? I'm sure you guys have heard that from your state. We need foster homes. There are so many kids that need foster homes. Yet, Mike and Kitty Berkey are a family who wants to foster and they're being turned down, even though there's so many kids who need foster homes. These people turn up and they want to be a foster home because they're Catholic. So it sounds like Massachusetts believe that it's more important for you to affirm LGBTQ than it is for a child to find a safe home. That's the way I interpret that. You may not interpret it that way. That's the way I interpret it. So it's like, there's a crisis here, but not really. We only want certain people to actually be a solution to this crisis. So if a family comes that we don't like what they believe, then we're just not going to place that child in their home. And this is the state doing this. Okay. Um, so right now, Massachusetts will not allow faith-based families to either foster or adopt foster children, which is really sad. So we talked about Oregon and Massachusetts. Now, again, if you're just joining me on this live today, I'm talking about what's going on across the United States and how believers in Christ are fighting right now to become foster care parents in certain states who are refusing to allow them to do so. So we talked about the lady in Oregon who's fighting Oregon right now and the couple in Massachusetts. So I'm going to cover two more states now. So New Jersey is also another state that is being hostile to Christian foster parents. So Michael and Jennifer, I think it's Lachey, I hope I'm saying their names right. They had their foster child removed from them actually after having that foster child for a year because of their religious beliefs. But thankfully, the U.S. Court of Appeals of the Third Circuit ruled in their favor and recognized that they had a constitutionally protected right to their religious beliefs and that New Jersey could not discriminate against them because of it. So if you live in New Jersey, this is encouragement to you. If you live in New Jersey and you want to become a foster parent and you are a believer and New Jersey is giving you a hard time, just remind them of this case because it just lost in the U.S. Court of Appeals. So you want to be able to go in there with like knowing your stuff, fighting with them. So if they're saying no to you, say, well, then I can sue you like Michael and Jennifer did. And I know I'm going to win because this is what the U.S. Court of Appeals, said. And so I want to encourage you guys to look up these cases and actually read them. And if you live in these states, you can use that as a way to fight against the state to allow you to become a foster parent. Okay. So now the fourth story I want to talk to you about is Washington State. So this is a couple. They wanted to adopt their great granddaughter who was an infant. And the state, okay, so let me go back. This is a biological family member. They wanted to adopt the great granddaughter who was an infant. So the mom was in foster care and the baby was going to be born in foster care. So they wanted to adopt their biological great granddaughter. And the state refused for them to do that. They refused a biological family member to adopt their own biological great granddaughter because they would not use preferred pronouns on an infant. We're not talking about a 15-year-old, an infant who doesn't even know left from right. So they were like, because you're not going to use a preferred pronoun on this baby, we're not going to give you your foster care license. We're not going to allow you to adopt your own flesh and blood. They also refuse to take the child to hormone treatments. If that is so basically the state was saying if the child gets to an age where they want preferred pronouns, they want to change their gender or whatever, would you agree with that? And the great grandparents were like, no, because it's a baby. And we don't know what they're going to say when they're 15. So no, we're not going to tell you right now that we're going to affirm all these things for this infant. And because of that, Washington State denied them adopting their own family member. But a federal judge ruled in their favor, thankfully. Okay. So that's what happened in Washington State. So the 4 states right now where there have been cases where the states have been sued by a Christian, because they're refusing to give a Christian their foster care license is Oregon, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Washington State. So again, if you live in those states, you want to watch out. Go look up these cases and go read up on them so that you know what's going on in your state. Okay. So, guys, government officials are discriminating against Christian families left and right. And you guys have seen that becoming increasingly popular in society. You guys have seen the whole, cancel culture happening last year and all of these craziness going on. But guys, it's affecting everything. It's even affecting foster care and adoption. So, I want you guys to be aware. I want you guys to know that you can fight back. And I want you guys to know that more than ever, we need Christian families to stand up and say, no, we are going to do what God called us to do. And you, state, cannot discriminate against us because we believe in God, because we don't believe in you mutilating children and giving them sex hormones. And we don't believe in calling them a gender other than what God gave them. Okay. Um, and so there's a couple of others that I may talk about in another live, but I just wanted to make you guys aware. And please comment below. Let me know if you guys are experiencing discrimination in your state. And actually, let me know what state you're listening from. And it'll be good for you to also watch what's going on in your state and know what's going on so that if you choose to adopt and you just feel like, man, why am I running into so many roadblocks? You'll know why. It's because your state is hostile against Christians. Okay. So again, comment below. Let me know if you guys are experiencing that in your state. And also let me know if you guys have heard of any other stories that have made the news that we need to talk about more. All right. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. All right. Bye bye.